So what do you think surprised you the most this year?
Yeah, I don't think anything surprised me. If anything, it's just like, it's just a reassurance of all the stuff that I've been trying to do. If anything, I don't think nothing surprised me at all. What about you?
Yeah, I don't think anything surprised me. I think nothing surprised me, but I think that I always get, I always get shocked how much more levels there are, if that makes sense. Because every year we always get better, but every year, I guess you could say it always surprises me how there's just so many more levels to life. And even when you think that you've mastered something, life will always show you, like, you can always learn and you can always get better. So I think it's like the tiny things that really, we can get into it, that really surprise me. Like, there's always going to be room to grow. Hello, you guys, and welcome back to another episode. This is actually episode number 30. My name is Jasmine.
My name is Matthew Cohn.
And this is the #1 entrepreneurship podcast where we talk everything entrepreneurship, lifestyle, mindset. And today we are actually doing a end of year wrap up. So we actually have been doing this every single year for the podcast where we talk about basically how the year went and just discuss progress.
I think that's our third year. Year-end wrap up, yeah.
Did we do one in 2023? Oh yeah, we did. Because that's when we came back from Mexico. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we've been really consistent with it.
Last year, because the one we did last year was here. At this house.
Oh, it was. Well, at the beginning of every podcast, we always like to give a shout out to one of our subscribers or just somebody that has commented on our reels or videos. And this week we wanted to go shout out Claudia Argo on Instagram, or Claudia RGO_. And she said, absolutely wonderfully said. So we were actually talking about in the last reel how, sometimes you can't really convince people of things. You kind of just have to show them by showing them through example and throwing them through action. So thank you guys so much for commenting on our videos. Please leave any questions or comments down below because we always read them and we always like to hear them. But let's get into this end of year wrap up. I got some questions. Before
we get to the end of year wrap up, we were supposed to talk about something was supposed to carry over from the last episode.
We need to stop doing that. Every time that we record a podcast, we hit like a really good topic and then we're like, we'll talk about it in the next episode.
Did you forget what it was about?
And then we forgot to write it down.
Did you forget what it was about?
Yeah, I forgot to write it down. Okay. Are you a service-based entrepreneur that provides some kind of service, but you don't know how to create content in order to convert someone from following you into a paying client? I'm going to tell you exactly what to post in order to start generating more leads, attract high-paying clients, and get more DMs than you can possibly answer. I will help you how to find your niche, how to find your target audience, and craft offers that will attract top buyers every time you go to make a post. Text me content to 513-516-7332 to learn more on how you can get mentored by me for only $99 a month. We'll look back at it and then we can make another episode off of it. But let's get into it. So, end of year questions. But this is a really good question actually. What belief did you have at the start of the year that's changed? Or was there any?
A belief that I have at the beginning of the year changed.
A belief.
I can't think of anything. What belief? Changed?
Yeah.
No, I can't think of anything.
Really? I think...
I feel like I've had the same thinking priority-wise since Cincinnati.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think nothing's changed.
I think that for me... like my thinking has just gotten more clear over the years in terms of...
Yeah, but the question was what belief?
In terms of what I want, that's what I'm getting to is like what belief that I have at the start of the year that changed. I guess the belief is just every time that you think that you're thinking in abundance mode, it goes back to that growth question. Life always shows you that there's bigger ways to think in abundance. Because every time that I think I'm thinking in abundance, life kind of shows me you're thinking about there's a scarcity mindset. So I think that's the only belief that changed. Is like there's certain things that I think I'm thinking about in abundance, but I discover that I actually am not, if that makes sense. And maybe that goes back to more money, because I think for money, that's like a huge one for everybody, where every time you make a little bit of money, I feel like, at least for me, because I'm an entrepreneur, I get into this abundance mindset of like, oh, there's more money out there, like you can always make more money. But as soon as you come across a challenge, I feel like those beliefs kind of, for me specifically, come into my head in terms of like, you have to hold on to your money. And that's like a belief that I've always struggled with money. So I think going back to the question, the only belief that's changed around money is just relearning information. Because I think for you, like you said that you haven't changed your thinking, but I think for me, sometimes it's so easy or so natural to go back to like your old thinking or your old habits, and you kind of have to like keep refreshing your mind every day and keep relearning stuff, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you should always do that.
Yeah. But what do you think didn't go as planned this year? Or was there anything that didn't go as planned?
I would say for me, it's probably just losing that third retainer. Because I lost a third retainer twice this year. So at 2 points in the time that happened this year, I lost my third retainer.
But why do you think of it as a loss?
Because I don't have them now. I didn't keep them.
But why do you view them as a loss instead as an opportunity to learn to get another?
It can be both.
Okay. I think for me, what didn't go as planned is, I kind of already talked about it in another episode where I was and I don't want to use the word supposed to, but I really thought I was going to be a little bit more ahead with my money in terms of like how much money I wanted to have saved up. And I think that one thing that didn't go as planned is that it goes back to that first question. What surprised me the most this year is that there's always going to be room to grow, because even when you feel like you've mastered things in the past, like life will show you that you haven't. And for example, one of the things is that I procrastinate in terms of like getting things done, especially with my car. And you know that I kind of like put that off. And then that kind of bit me in the butt, because then I had to get my car fixed, and like so a couple of things fell on top of each other simply because I wasn't doing what I was supposed to take care of it beforehand. So I think going back to the question, one thing that didn't go as planned was just being more smart with my money. But that's also because of things that I was already doing in my everyday life, such as procrastination. And it's something so small, but it shows up in other places in your life. But what's one decision that you think you're really proud of this year? Or what's one thing you're proud of?
Just making sure I'm keeping up with my clients' wants, needs, and expectations. And I've always been good at that, but this is the highest level that I've had to do it at. So just being able to maintain that and be on like in front of it too. On top of that, not only am I maintaining, but I'm in front of it. Because this year I was able to see that I can have 3 retainers and still have a bunch of time to myself. So it's like I've already done it, now I just got to keep it. So that's probably the thing I'm most proud of, because I was able to have all that together and still be able to maintain.
No, that's good. I was going to say, if you guys are watching this, you guys should turn this into an exercise and write this down too. But I think one thing that I'm really proud of, I mean, there's so many things, and I feel like I was just talking to you about this a couple of days ago, where I feel like as entrepreneurs and just people that always want to see themselves grow and succeed, we're kind of always going after more and more and more. And so we don't really ever get a chance to sit down and say we're proud of ourselves. So I think one thing that I'm really proud of myself this year is failing. I think failing taught me so much, and there's like little things that I feel like I've personally failed in, but it just made me realize my blind spots and where I could be stronger, where I could pour more effort in. But I think another thing that I'm really proud of is, like you said, just staying on top of my current clients and learning how to get better with my time, because my time management has always been an issue for me. And like you said, I think that once you put yourself into those situations where you kind of have no other choice, you're going to get better, at least for me. And so that's just one thing I'm really proud of, is I'm really proud of failing. I'm really proud of putting myself in uncomfortable situations, even when I didn't know how it was going to work out. And I'm just really proud of myself for not giving up. And I hope you guys are really proud of yourself for not giving up, because It's a lot. Life is a lot sometimes, especially when you're a mom, when you're an entrepreneur, when you're a student. There's so many things on your plate, and sometimes it just feels like you're never doing enough. So just be proud of yourself for surviving another day.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I'm proud of myself that we survived this far, especially in Arizona. Remember when, something that we always do, and maybe we should talk about this, is that we always kind of look back at our accomplishments and see where we started. How do you think that's helped us get to where we are?
Just reflection and I would say just you kind of like look back at the progression, and then you're like more grateful because like the stuff that you're doing now is the stuff that you always like wish for and work hard for. So just being able to look back and be like, damn, like this is the build up to where we're at now, especially if you're a successful business owner or actually achieving your goals. Like, I understand that if you like stuck in the same spot and stuff like that, you're probably miserable as hell, but that ain't me. So I can't relate to that because I work hard every single day to just compound all my wins together. So
yeah. What was the question?
Just
No, I
back.
think it's just important because, like you said, it does put you in that state of gratefulness, and going back to what we said, it's like you kind of have to make time every single day or every single week to slow down and see how far you've come. So one, you can be proud of what you're doing and be proud of yourself, but two, also have that gratitude of how far you've come. I saw this TikTok the other day, and the TikTok was saying something along the lines like, I may not have reached every single goal that I wanted to this year, but I'm 3 times ahead of where I was 3 years ago. And that's so true. Because something that I even told you a couple of days ago is I think like it's almost human nature that at the beginning of the year, or most human beings, we kind of set goals and we set way too many goals. And then by a month later, we kind of forgot about them. And so that's something that we talked about where, it's okay to go slower, or it's okay to just set more realistic goals. And what I mean by realistic is do something tangible, because that's what you're always telling me. Like, for example, if I send 1 proposal, let's just say last month, then my goal should be how to send 2 this month. And I think sometimes with social media, we kind of just set unrealistic goals based on where we're actually at. But
no, that makes sense. Like I'm trying to think for 2025, what was my goals? And I think my biggest goals was having multiple retainers, family vacation. And I think that was it. It was just 2 things. And we did multiple shit. I had Maddie out here twice. We went to San Diego. Like, it was multiple family vacations, and I had multiple retainers this year. So next year, like for 2026, my goal is again, it's probably only 3 goals. It's family vacation, which we got plenty of those planned out. But if we can go on any of them, that would be major. Get my G-Wagon and then have 3 retainers. Like, it's super simple, but those 3 goals are so big. Like, it's gonna take a lot just to do those single 3 ones. So it's like it's only 3, but they're super big, and I know I gotta put in a lot of work to achieve those goals.
yeah, no, I like that. And also saying them out loud, because I'm glad that you're always saying them out loud because it makes it more real. That's a conversation that I was having with a friend today where, she put something on her vision board and it became true because she was able to visualize it. So I think that sometimes we don't say things out loud because we don't think that they're going to become true. And so even in entrepreneurship, that's something that we talk about a lot, is that most people think that the hardest part is posting content, shooting content, getting the clients, making the sales. And don't get me wrong, all of those things still require work and are a skill. But I think the hardest part is getting yourself out of that mindset when it does get hard. Because it's so easy to give up, or it's so easy to like just say when something goes wrong, like it's easier to just not try or not just go after these big dreams and goals. But I always say, God gave you those dreams and goals for a reason, and you want them for a reason. So something that I want to do for 2026 is definitely have 3 retainers, because I think that's something that I've been talking about for like the past year and a half, is that I want to get better at sales. But I just realized this year that I honestly don't think sales is my issue. I think it's building relationships. And to be honest, I didn't do a good job this year at building the relationships that I wanted because I didn't put myself out there enough. And that's just me being accountable with myself, knowing that I didn't do as much as I did previous years. But we touched on something that I wanted to talk about. But
Goals, 2026 goals.
yeah, we did a lot this year. We did a lot.
Looking back, reflection.
Yeah. Matt, I need your help growing my social media audience.
All right, guys, if you need help growing your social media audience, make sure you text 602-390-7002. Once again, it's 602-390-7002.
What? Oh, this is a good one. I mean, we kind of already talked about this, but what was your biggest lesson around money, time, or energy?
This year, I found out that I have a lot of time. I don't know if it's because I get stuff done real quickly. I know how to manage my time quickly, but I feel like it's a combination of like the 6 years that I've been working, because I've been focusing on doing three or four very specific skills over the past 6 years. And now that I've been doing it for 6 years, that's one skill set, I know how to do it super fast. And because I know how to do it super fast, I get stuff done fast. And because I get stuff done fast, it allows me to have more time for other things. Mm-hmm. I'm in control of my time. I wasn't too much in control of my time end of 2023, beginning of 2024. I kind of was, but I kind of wasn't. Now I'm in since the end of 2024, I've just been in full control of my time and still able to maximize clientele and money and space and all the stuff that we've been working so hard towards.
Mm-hmm. No, that's good. I think that
it's really just time. Controlling your time.
No, I think for me, the biggest lesson is that I'm still not good with my time, and that's really a problem. Because, I mean, I've been saying that I want to get better with my time, but it's just that I didn't create any boundaries in order for me to get better with time. So I think one of the biggest lessons for me this year was just learning how to spend my time more efficiently. What I mean by that is like setting timers or knowing how much time I'm spending on a project, or even learning how to say no to things. Like, I know we talked about how to say no to things in the past, but I think for me, like I've talked about this in previous episodes, that I feel like for me this year, and this was like another year where sometimes we think it's like I said, we think it's the big things that are going to teach us the lessons, not realizing that it's usually the most little things that are holding us back. And I feel like you're so good with the little things, such as being like really detail oriented, or just really good with your time, or just being on time, that because you've worked on those skills for so long, it's helping you in your favor now. And I feel like for me, like I was so focused on, I'm not going to lie, you guys, I'm definitely one of those people sometimes that focus like on shiny light, what is it called? Syndrome, like the shiny light, like light bulb, where it's like sometimes when there's like new things, and you've even told me this, when like there's new things or new systems, I kind of just focus on like, oh, what's the new project management system, or what's this, or what's this, or what's this. And it's like little things that you think that I would have already learned by now. But for me, this year was just a reminder that the most important thing really is your focus, because whatever you're putting your focus on is going to eat into your time and your attention and your money. And I think for me, just at the beginning of the year, like I said, I was super focused. I lost my focus. And then because of that, there was just things that were being, what is it called? Like they added on top of one another because I was procrastinating, or I just didn't do what I was supposed to, that I wanted to get done. So yeah, I think that every year I just learned that our time and our energy is so valuable, especially in who you spend your time with, who you call your friends, who you surround yourself with. So what else? You want to add anything?
What do you think as far as like the biggest lesson on your surroundings in 2025 and how that affects what you do mentally and physically, and what's been the biggest lesson for 2025 regarding that?
I think for me, it's just learning myself. Like I said, I'm only 27. How old are you for reference?
34.
34. So that's a big age gap. And I think sometimes like I don't know if this is just a you thing or if it's just a men thing.
It's definitely just a me thing.
Yeah, because I know not all men are like this.
It's definitely a me thing.
But
whatever it is, all right, I don't even know what you're going to say. I just know it's a me thing.
Yeah, because I know not all men are like this. But sometimes I feel like men, or just you specifically, like you guys have like this really, really strong intuition that you guys like notice things a mile before they even happen. And I think for women, like I've talked about this before, we're so emotional sometimes that we want to know the why. We want to know like everything around it. And I think this is just my opinion and experience this year, is that sometimes not everything deserves our attention, or not everything deserves for us to know the why, or simply care. That's something that we talked about. Like not everything deserves your care. And I think for me, going back to your question, what I've learned is that you really have to know yourself. And I feel like every single year I just learn myself more and more. And I feel like I'm just going to be honest and transparent. There's things that we want to hide under the carpet, or we're like, oh, we're not like that. Or, you think that you're over that. Such as for me, it's like being late. I have such a big problem with being late because I don't know how to manage my time. And so it's like those little things that I talk about where sometimes we want to give our time and our energy to the wrong things that don't deserve our time and energy. And that's just because I know myself. I know that I'm the type of person that I'm so emotional and I'm so invested into people and just in general, that if I surround myself around people who just start to talk bad about themselves, or negative, or
Self-negative talk,
or just don't invest their time
or energy into themselves
properly, then that doesn't help me, because then I'm surrounding myself by what I'm trying to fix.
Yeah.
And I just realized for me, kudos to other people that can be friends with people and kind of learn how to separate with things, what is it called? Like they know how to separate their personal things from one another.
I don't think they do.
But I think for me, I don't know how to do that. I've learned this year that I don't know how to do that. I feel like when I want to be friends with somebody, I want to be friends with somebody because there's something about you that inspires me. There's something about you that I want to, not that you want to mimic, but you want to be like. Mm-hmm. And so I talk about Rosa all the time because you guys have seen her on my channel, but Rosa is really one of those friends that came into my life when I was least expecting it to, or at least expecting her to. But she inspires me so much because she has the same mindset as me. Like, we have the same financial goals, or we want to get to bigger financial goals. And you really need someone like that in your corner that inspires you to dream bigger. And that's just me. Everybody might be different, but if you surround yourself around somebody where, they always talk about, well, that's not really possible. 10K months is never going to be possible. That's only for rich people. Those things are going to go in your subconscious and you're going to start believing them.
Damn, I'm rich.
So the conversations that you are having are so important.
No,
a lot of
the
people
conversations
think,
you're having with yourself
a lot of people. Ooh,
yeah,
the conversations that you're having with yourself are so important.
Those are the most important conversations that you're having because, again, like you said, you've been around people that negative self-talk. I'm around it. I try to like I hear it all the time on a weekly basis. And it's just like mad cringe. It's just like, ugh.
Yeah. And I think also another problem, this is just women or this is just me. I think we want to call everybody our friend sometimes. And I think this year the biggest lesson that I learned is that not everybody's your friend. I think that sometimes you have to learn how to learn the difference between an acquaintance and a friend. And that's where, I talked about.
I told you that in Cincinnati.
I know, but I don't listen. And I think sometimes that is my mistake where
not everybody is your friend.
Just because people, they seem like they're good, like they're a cool person, you want to be friends with them. But then you start to realize how they think about things, how they view things. And then you realize like sometimes you're just not aligned and that's okay. And so that's what I mean. I feel like lessons are just going to keep coming up every year and kind of teach you the same thing or teach you the same lesson until you learn the lesson. And I feel like for me this year, it was kind of just all the lessons of everything that I was supposed to learn the last couple of years kind of just popping up in my face again and telling me, did you actually learn the lesson or are you repeating it?
Yeah.
Because as much as we want to preach, talk good about yourself, talk about yourself in a positive light or empower yourself. I think we also have to be real with ourselves and say when we're not good at something. And so I can't continue to say, oh, I'm so amazing, I'm so, always good with my time, when that's not the truth and I'm not good with my time. I actually have to name it in order for me to get better. And going back to what you just said, I think sometimes people don't like to say what they're bad at. I think sometimes self-improvement, or sometimes
ego,
people don't want to name it, and that's how you just don't get better. And I think that if you're just around people who don't want to get better, I mean, this is what our whole podcast is about, is getting 1% better every day. So if you don't want to get better, then you're obviously, maybe this isn't the place for you, or that's not even what you want to do, and that's okay, but just admit it to yourself that you don't want it.
Yeah, a lot of people don't want it. A lot of people will come to us or come to you or come to me and claim that they want to achieve these goals. They want to achieve these 2026 goals. I think for you, you've gotten better at deciphering bullshit versus action.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I think that you didn't really, in 2024, you didn't double down on what you wanted to do in 2024. 2025, you got the full year, the opportunity to double down on stuff that you wanted to do.
Yeah.
So.
And we've talked about it before. I don't want to use this as a crutch or as an excuse, but I feel like for me, I'm such a visual person. And let me know down in the comments if you guys are like this. This is just what I've noticed with men and women that are so differently. It's like men can have a vision and they can say they want it. You don't know anybody around you in your family that has a G-Wagon. But something in your brain is like, well, I can go get it. Yeah. That's not impossible for me. Yeah. And I think for women, like at least for me, I'm such a visual person, or I'm but who around me has had it? And if I don't see anybody around me that's had it, then for me it's like, well, how can I get it if I don't see anybody that's done it? But then that
goes back to the lessons that I learned when I was a kid. I didn't need anybody. I've always been like this since I was a kid. I didn't need anybody to be successful around me, because I said, fuck everybody. I'm about to go do it by myself. Mm-hmm. Now, mind you, I'm doing this 10 years old, 11 years old, 12 years old, 13 years old. So I've been doing that for 20 plus years. I don't give a fuck who's around me. I'm going to go do it. I'm going to go get it.
That's the problem with women. I think women I think women sometimes ask for permission too much.
I think men do it too. I'm just different. I'm going to be fully honest with you. I'm just different. I've been around a lot of men. I've been around a lot of women. I've been around a lot of men and women. I've been around a lot of people, right? And I don't think it's a men versus women thing. I think it's a people person thing. I've been in corporate offices. I've been contracting for years. I've been in freelance. Like, I've been everywhere. Men or women, it doesn't matter who you are. Like, you either have that about that life action taken, or you just don't. Mm-hmm. I don't care who you are. Like I said, I've seen it for years. I've seen people. There's a reason why there's a 1% of the 1%.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Not everybody is going to be action takers like us. I've seen a lot of people switch up. I've seen a lot of people do a lot of weird shit. That's why I'm like, in 2026, I'm kind of like sticking to my track. Even like the people that I've tried to, in Arizona, that I've tried to get to kind of like be a part of my circle, or people are just not about that action. I remember when we first moved here and we were doing networking events, and all those people that was telling me to like follow up and reach out to them and let's work and stuff like that, I ain't heard from them again. Not at all whatsoever. So, and that's men and women. But again, that's you either action taker or you're not an action taker. No matter who's around you. I don't care if you haven't seen it or haven't seen it. And that helps, though. That does help being around people, because I've had clients that bought a G-Wagon. I've been around multiple people that had G-Wagons. When I realized how easy it was to make money, and how like the manipulation started with my Tesla. I honestly started before the Tesla because I worked in the banking industry, so I knew how to manipulate the system.
Yeah.
But even more so now that it's easier to make money over here and it's easier to get stuff, it's just manipulating the system. And again, that's the attitude that I have for myself is, so I can go, I don't care who has it, I can just go get it.
Mm-hmm. You said two things that I want to touch on. Is I love that you have that mindset because, yeah, sometimes you have to create it even when you don't see anybody around you have it. And I know we've said it before, but it's so much easier said than done. Mm-hmm. And I think for me, even when you were going to buy your Tesla, not that I never believed in you that you could never buy it, but something in the back of my mind was like, is he really going to buy a Tesla? Because I've never seen anybody in my family or anybody around me have a Tesla. So for me, it was like foreign language. Mm-hmm. So I think sometimes we have to have grace with ourselves. Like, yes, we're doing this for the first time, but don't use it as a crutch to not do something.
Even us moving.
Yeah, because
we didn't know nobody.
I want to touch on, creating even a social media agency. I remember 2024, I was kind of all over the place and I was like, should I be a marketer? Should I be an operations strategist? Should I be this? Because I had no idea how to create a social media agency. I only knew one other person, but she was doing it in a way that was completely different from what I wanted, that I was like, how am I supposed to even create this when I don't have a team or resources? And that was just my
self-limiting beliefs,
my scarcity mindset, that didn't realize like you can still create a way. And I think in 2025, when I really, like you said, I started doubling down on social media, and I'm like, okay, I just want to stick to creating a social media agency, and I just want to stick to social media. I realized how many doors I could really open and create because I was clear on this is what I want and I'm not moving from it. And I think going back to something that we touched on earlier, sometimes we get bored and we try to come up with new goals. We try to change the plan.
Stick to the plan.
We just want to change things, or we're like, like even with my clients do this all the time where they're like, oh, I want to change the messaging because I feel like it's unclear or everybody else is saying the same thing. I'm like, everybody else can be saying the same thing, but do they have your personality? No. And so it's something that we have to remind ourselves that somebody could be doing the same thing that you're doing, but there might be like one little thing that just separates you from everyone else. And I'm glad that you said something about like finding out how to get the Tesla, because even I told my sister this a couple of days ago because she wanted to go back to school for nursing. And I was like, well, did you find out how much the school was for the program? And she was like, no, that's a good idea. But I'm like, sometimes we have to find out what the actual number is or what the actual like facts are before we even say that that's not something that we are capable of. And I think that, again, I don't want to just say men or women, but individuals do this where it's like they want something, but you haven't even done the research to go out and see if it's actually even possible. Yeah. How are you going to visualize it, or how are you going to get there if you haven't done the work to get there?
Facts.
And I'm just really passionate about this subject, so I know this is getting off topic, but also just giving the space for other people giving the space to give other people their flowers is so important. Because as someone that works in social media, the reason I'm saying this is because as someone that works in social media, I think sometimes we want to share a story so much that we forget why we're even doing this. And we both said that we started what we were doing because we were doing it for free. We were doing it because we wanted to help others. And I think sometimes we forget about why we even started this. Like I was watching an interview with Tracy Ellis Ross, and she was saying, what's something that you love to do and that's a hobby, or that you really enjoy doing it, and is there a way that you can get paid for it? And I think sometimes that doesn't even come into our mind because of how society has been raised to think of go to college, go to school, do what your parents say. And it's like, that's what I'm saying. It's like the littlest things that we have to unlearn and ask ourselves, why do we truly believe that thought? But I think that's a good place to stop. Mm-hmm. Unless you want to add anything else.
No.
Oh, there's a good one. I mean, you already said it. What does success look like for you in the next season of life?
Yeah, same thing. I said getting my G-Wagon, maintaining 3 retainers for 12 months, and family vacations.
That's good. Well, I think that is going to be it for today's podcast, you guys. Let us know down below, what are some of your goals for 2026? If next year had one word or theme, what would it be? I think for me, the word for next year
Word.
is going to be building or relationship building.
That's 2 words.
Oh, relationships.
My 2 words is tres leches.
Why?
3 retainers.
Oh,
3 layers.
Okay.
3 pieces of cake. Let's go. That's my word.
Let us know. Have you guys seen the new season of Stranger Things? Let us know down below.
All right, we done.
Okay. Bye, you guys. We will see you guys in the next episode.